guys, you can see right here we're going to talk a little bit about seed starting. I had a couple people ask me they would like to see how I start my seeds. I'm going to give you a lot of detail here. Do you have to do them all? No. The more you do, the higher percentage and the better you'll do. What I'm going to explain to you here is how to get good germination and how to get good little seedlings started where they're not so straggly and spindly when they start out. So that's just the common things. Now, I'm using this. It's a spongy seed starter. You can see when you squeeze a little water comes out. That's about all the water you want in there. Do you see that color there? That's when it's dry and that'll go back. What you do with this stuff is what I do. I put water in this, I put them in there and I let them soak for 20 minutes and I drain the water out. And then I add water every day to the bottom so it can absorb up. That way the seeds are moist but not wet. These are different color. These were sitting just doing nothing in water than the last seeds I started with the peppers, so they're just a little different color. They're still fine. This stuff here, what you do is, one of the most underutilized things in a garden is a chopstick. Next time you go to a Chinese restaurant, if you don't use chopsticks, grab one for you. These are awesome for seeds. If you look for one of my other videos, you will see how I plant seeds with the chopstick. It comes with a little hole right there. You want to widen it, that's all I do right there, and then you're going to use that to kind of cover the seed up, and I'll show that in a little bit. But what we're going to be planting today is I want to plant a couple of these long cayennes. These are going to be outside for more peppers. Can a person have too many peppers? I don't think so. For my zip grow towers, I'm going to be planting some dwarf Greek basil, Kentucky kernel mint, Swiss chard, and I'm going to show you how to start these seeds. So what I do is I get everything I have ready. A couple things you want is a heating mat. This is, if it's really warm, you don't have to. But I'm in the greenhouse and it might get a little cool out at night, so I got a heating mat. Now, if you have a heating mat, you can get a grow mat. That's the best. But we had a heating mat. There are two kind of heating mats. One that cycles on and off, on and off. You don't want that. You want one with the settings you can see, low, medium, high, and it stays on. Some heating mats will not stay on permanently. They'll cycle on and off. You don't want that. That's why getting a grow mat's probably better. But we had this, that's what I use. Need a dome to keep the humidity and a grow light. This is an LED one. You do not need an LED grow light, but you will need some kind of grow light. Don't go buy something big, fancy, expensive. You don't have to if you don't do many seeds. T5 bulbs. T5 is in Tango 5 bulbs. Those are the fluorescent bulbs, on each end have the two prongs on each end, and you put them in and twist it in their socket. If you get a T5 full light or full spectrum, that's fine. $20, you can get a 4-foot long one, that'll do the job. Two little bulbs in it, 4-foot long, or you can get like a 1 or 2 foot ones, probably more space appropriate. But that's what you're going to need. You're going to need a grow light of some kind. Windowsill will not work. You'll get spindly plants. And some place to hang the light. You don't have to get fancy. Literally just an old tub, one of those, not even an old tub, just a tub you buy, like one of those 20-gallon tubs to store stuff. Put your seeds in there and fashion a little dowel across the top and hang your light. Good to go. So don't get too fancy if you don't do this too much. But that's what we do here. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be cutting some of these open. I'm going to break here and we're going to start planting some of these, and I will show you how I do that. So that's just kind of what you need and for now. So that's it. I'll come back to you in a second here so you can see what's going on. Okay guys, what we're going to be planting now is the dwarf heirloom seeds. I like the dwarf. These are going to zip grow towers. Dwarf ones seem to do a little better. That's my opinion, but everybody has their own. Basil seeds are real small. Basil seeds to me germinate okay, not great. So you can see here how small they are. I mean, they're tiny, tiny. I put 2 in each one just to make sure I get good percentage with these seeds. I only a couple, I do a couple in each one. This is one of them just to make sure I have it. These seeds are small and they're super cheap. And if I get 2 growing up, I just cut one off. So that's it. And what I'm doing now is I take and I just widen the hole a little bit. I should have did this when I didn't have something in my other hand to help out. I'm going to be doing 10 of these. All I'm doing is I'm making that hole a little bigger for me. I'm going to be doing 10 of these because I'm going to have 1 tower of these. I'm going to put 10 plants in the tower. So all I do is I put 2 seeds on there in the hole. And if they get right next to the hole, that's fine, because I'll show you what I do in a minute. And this will work with all. And I should say, if you don't have these plugs, you don't need these plugs. You can use just plain soil, but you want that soil super, super loose. You do not want clay soil. If you only do a few seeds a year, just go buy a seed starting mix. It doesn't have to be expensive. You want it really loose, and you don't pack it down. That's the key with seeds. You do not want something packed. You want it nice, light, and airy so the small tender roots can just go where they want. So just get some seed starting mix. If you want to make your own, you can make it with third compost. You can do a third vermiculite and a third coconut hair or a third sand. Kind of pick either one. I like coconut hair. It seems to do a little better for the soil when I compost them later and everything, but sand is perfectly acceptable. So now you take your trusty chopstick, and some of the seeds that didn't go in the hole, all I'm doing, I'm pushing them in the hole. I'm pushing them down a little bit in the hole. That's all I'm doing, because they're so small, kind of hard to get in. They're right next to the hole when I dropped them, so they're right there. Okay, now that that's done, what I do is I move the sponge around to the side, just so I'm trying to cover that hole a little bit. I'm breaking the sponge up a little bit. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm breaking the sponge just to cover the hole. That's all there's to it with these. Now with the soil, you plant your seed and you sprinkle a little more on top. Now, in general, it's all different. It's different for every seed. Check the depth. But in general, you want to bury the seed 2 to 3 times the depth of the seed. That, again, that's a general guideline. Read the instructions, please. I don't get a whole bunch of people mad at me. Oh, Tracy said. But that's a general rule. But what you do is you put your seeds on, you sprinkle a little dirt on top, and that you don't even have to tamp down, just keep it on top. You're just covering it from direct sunlight. That's all you do. I'm going to finish these and I'll show you the next step. I started these Swiss chard seeds, and I want to show you this too. These are bigger seeds, so you can see them. See this here? These just go right in, and this actually goes really quick with these. Larger seeds are obviously easier. You can see even if they're not directly on the hole. And as I'm putting it in, you see I'm kind of stuffing it back and forth a little bit to make sure the seed is covered. So that's it. I wanted to show you that since it was bigger seed. You can see it really easy. Okay guys, that's it. I got them all planted. Don't forget to label your seeds what you start. Please, please, please don't forget that. Cover the dome. That's to keep the humidity in. You want a humid environment. As soon as all the seeds pop out and they're germinated and I see them all popping above the soil, I uncover the dome and I plug the light in. I don't plug the light until then. With this LED, simply plug it in and I'm good to go. And you just plug your other light in. Different plants need different kind of light of day for this, but generally 18 to 20 hours, depending on the plant. You can look, you can go online to see which one. I just use a real 18, 19, and I'm pretty good. But that's it, that's all there's to it. Don't forget to turn your heat mat on, that'll really help out to keep the bottom warm. After the seeds get, probably about, I don't know, half an inch big, I turn the heating mat off unless it's cold outside. Then I'm fine. So once I get to about 3/8 of an inch to half an inch tall, I just turn the heating mat off because it's really not needed anymore. That's all I do for seeds. Get great percentage germination. The last one I did like this, I had 100% germination, including 3 stevia leaves, or 5 stevia. And you know how hard those are to germinate. If you don't, they're really hard. And so that's all I do. Hope everybody has a great day and enjoyed this video. Any questions, please leave them below. If you like this, please subscribe. Thumbs up if you don't mind. Everybody have a great day. Bye.